look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Ho! Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. From every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Ho! Take a look at the person next to you. Say, Namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I'm Russ Laguerre, your assistant minister, and can we share some love with our wonderful band? Thank you, Chris and Brett and Fran and Nick. Rumi once said, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." And the science of mind inspires me to make the way clear for the love within me. And it can do this for you too. When I delve below the surface, beyond the way things appear to be in the world, I can then connect with a deeper truth, that the love that I'm seeking is already within me. Whether you're in the room or you're watching online, please know that you are welcome here, where we aspire to remove all the barriers to love by honoring inclusion, equity, and diversity. Now, please join me in reading out loud our mission. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. A significant part of this work is done by the volunteers at our center. And from now until November, on the first Sunday of each month, we will be honoring each of our volunteer teams and sharing what they do to bring good into the world. You'll also have a chance to meet them outside in the social hall after service. So today's volunteer group, our jail ministry, is making a difference in Sonoma County. And here's a video from practitioner Krista McAtee sharing all about it.
I'm so excited to tell you about my experience of the jail ministry team. We go into the Sonoma County main adult detention facility and sit with folks who are incarcerated. And I love this ministry. I love being able to be a part of a team that sits with people and listens deeply. And one of the things that I am constantly reminded of is how privileged I am, how many blessings I have in my life. I walk out constantly thinking, wow, I get to sit under a tree. I get to have fresh vegetables for lunch or dinner. I get to feel the sun on my face. There's so many things that we take for granted, and I get to recognize all these things that we take for granted. And the thing I love most about the jail ministry team is I get to sit with folks and reflect back their wholeness, their goodness, their brilliance, their lovability. And I get to do this in a way that is absolute, and I get to know in my bones how they're a part of the divine, just like every one of us. And when I do that, I get to do this for somebody maybe who has very rarely or never experienced being mirrored back in that kind of way. And what happens is then I get mirrored back, and I get to know my divinity so powerfully. So one of the first times I went in, I sat with a woman who came in just sobbing and trying to catch her breath, and she said, "You have time for me." Sobbing and sobbing. "You have time for me. You have time for me. This changes everything. You have time for me. We're the people society throws away, but you have time for me." And she went on to tell me how that changed how she was looking at everything. So this practice, this ability to walk into the jail and sit with people, is actually the most powerful, honoring, beautiful experience that I have had in spiritual community. I feel so honored to be a part of this team.
Thank you, Krista, and everybody in the jail ministry for your service. Now, our jail ministry is a wonderful example of our 5 spiritual principles, five spiritual practices put into practice. And would you please read those out loud with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, spiritual circulation. Here at the center, we use flowers to send messages of love. And today's flower dedication is from our center choir, and it is for Christopher Fritchie. Now, here's what they have to say. "Christopher, what a delightful treasure you are. You open our hearts with your music. Through your masterful, playful, rigorous commitment to excellence, you guide us to lift our voices as we create a joyful noise together. Stretching, standing tall, chin slightly down, lips relaxed, ma, me, me, mao, moo, 1,000 times. You direct us to reach deeply within and bring forth a unified and harmonious sound. Thanks for sharing your tender love through your magnificent gift." And I just want to add, it's really hard to do a flower dedication for Christopher because he's on the mailing list that gets these requests when they come in, so we have to do it completely different. So thank you, Chris. We would now like to extend a very warm welcome to our first-time visitors. First-time visitors, would you please stand or raise your hand as you're able, and we'd love to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of our gratitude for joining us today. Okay. I know that somewhere in the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and Dr. Edwards' messages today, you will find exactly what you need to experience for the next step of your spiritual unfoldment. You are welcome here. Now, please enjoy some music before we spend our short time in silent contemplation and prayer.
As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender, I am peace. As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender, I am peace. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender, I am peace. I surrender, I am peace.
There is only one creative energy flowing in, as, through, and surrounding the universe and beyond. That creative energy is everywhere. It is known as life. It is life in innumerable forms and essences. It is the ground of all being. It is the source. It is the power. It simply is the energy that runs the world in the life moving forward way. It is whole and complete. It is perfect no matter how it shows up. And I, as well as everyone in this sanctuary and beyond, are one with it. Each of us is a unique creation, a unique individualized expression of itself, walking through this world in the forms that we are, providing the love, the compassion, the kindness. This love is, this world is, to make it a better place for everyone. I speak a word for this center and this service this morning, as through the announcements, the prayer, the music, and the message of love and unity are strong. The message of oneness is a knowingness. The message that one life is the spaciousness that folds and holds and encompasses all, each one individually, and all of us as one whole love. I give great thanks for this center. I give great thanks for this teaching. I give great thanks for this one life. And I let this word go, and together we say, and so it is. Good morning, everybody. My name is Peggy Weber, and I'm one of the practitioners here. Would you please join me in reading the affirmation on the board? Wholeness and holiness reside at the center of my being, and so it is.
On a getaway to a distant land, reality's written in a different hand. Still you recognize the call of graffiti on a temple wall. Scrawled on the bricks and mortar, it's calling you away, dissolving all your borders to recreate your field of play. Say so long to the way you used to think before. Say goodbye to the way it used to be. There's a new world waiting. Open up your door to the rest of your destiny. Say yes to the rest of your destiny. Look out, here comes a brand new plan. Folks at home will never understand how this land got a hold on you. Can't explain it, but you know it's true. This place feels like a good friend. You'd think it would feel strange, and yet you're not afraid to let your whole life change. Say so long to the way you used to think before. Say goodbye to the way it used to be. There's a new world waiting. Open up your door to the rest of your destiny. Say yes to the rest of your destiny. Now move on from all you've Say so long to the way you used to think before. Say goodbye to the way it used to be. There's a new world waiting. Open up your door to the rest of your destiny. Say yes to the rest. It's all for the best, to be blessed with the rest of your destiny.
Good morning. There is more to you than you think. And I can say that with a degree of confidence because it was one of the very first things that I learned at the Center for Spiritual Living when I arrived. And it came as a moment of awakening for me, an inner shift, when I realized that what I believed about myself and about you, and about the world, and about life itself, was shaping my experience of everything. And that insight really changed me, because up until then, and even sometimes now, my thinking was running unexamined. I believed whatever I was thinking, simply because I was thinking it, regardless of whether it was true or false. I believed it. So what I had to learn was this, that beneath the surface activity of my mind, those automatic, habitual thoughts, below that, there is something more, something deeper, a presence of calm clarity, a spiritual depth that has always been part of who I am and who you are. That's the theme this month, July, below the surface. And it supports our journey into the awareness of what is below the surface of our thought, a deeper current of calm clarity, one that is already and always moving. I recently learned about the deep ocean currents that form when cold, salty water becomes dense enough to sink right down to the deep ocean floor. And once that water sinks, it starts to slowly flow along the seafloor over the course of hundreds of years. It moves. These massive, life-giving currents, and they distribute carbon, oxygen, nutrients all around the globe, and they move deliberately, powerfully, just a few inches per second. And they carry enormous weight and volumes of water. Just as deep ocean currents are silent and they are life-supporting, they're the movement of life in the sea, so too, I believe, the deeper currents within our own being move quietly, so calm that it appears to not move, but always present, always active, always available. giving us our lives. Yet becoming aware of this deep current isn't always easy to do when on the surface the mind is busy, active, sometimes reactive, sometimes loud, sometimes unchecked. Now, to be clear, your mind and my mind, it's not the enemy, right? It's an instrument. You can use your mind to explore and to learn new things. You can use your mind to investigate what is important to you and then commit to living by that. You can use your mind to grow a stronger sense of self by practicing making choices that reflect who you want to be in the world. You can use your mind to direct it, to get to know yourself better, to spend time on yourself, for your growth. You can use your mind to help other people, to share and to connect. My problem as a young adult was that my mind was focused a lot of the time on what other people thought. So instead of using my mind as an instrument, it seemed to be in charge of me. And my mind was always busy comparing myself to other people, inserting meaning when none was necessary, reacting, justifying, calculating, on the lookout for criticism. It was busy. And I didn't know myself outside of that mind activity. I thought that anxious person was me. And if I asked that anxious mind, that sometimes chaotic mind, if I asked, who am I? It would likely come up with a description of a person who was always trying to be somewhere other than where I actually was. Living every moment as a step towards some aha. Striving for a satisfaction that was always just out of reach. In pursuit of the next stimulation or distraction. Being driven to become more, to achieve more. Sometimes believing that more possession, more relationship would make me feel worthy. Holding out for something or someone to give my life meaning. If this describes you, then you too may have been over-identifying with your surface thinking and not enough with the deep current of spiritual wisdom that is in you. I'm thinking of Maya Angelou, our acclaimed poet and civil rights activist, who talked about the transformation that she underwent when she began to realize that her history, which was shaped by trauma and racism and societal messages, when she realized that that didn't define her depth. Early in her life, she suffered intense hardships, including childhood trauma. And she went through a period of muteness that lasted for years. And during that time, she internalized feelings of shame and brokenness and unworthiness. And the turning point for her came when a mentor introduced her to literature and poetry, in particular Shakespeare and the poets like Paul Laurence Dunbar and Langston Hughes, which opened for her a path to something more than what was on the surface of her history. And through reading and writing, she began to connect with that something deeper. And she found in her a voice a presence inside of her own being that was not touched by trauma, that was not defined by anything on the outside. And when she was asked how she gained her remarkable confidence and clarity, she answered, "I believed what a teacher once told me, that you are a child of God. You don't need to do anything to deserve that. It just is." Now, I would say that that moment was her awakening to that which is already always present deep within. And she began to live from that inner current. She began to draw from it her dignity that she exhibited, her presence, her spiritual depth, her identity. And later she would call that her rainbow in the clouds. Now, that shift didn't erase all of her hardships, but it transformed the way she carried them. Across the centuries and spiritual traditions, others have also known that spiritual presence. I'm thinking about the poet Rumi that Reverend Russ quoted this morning, and his inspirational writings that direct us to that exquisite awareness of the self within, like when he wrote, "The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep." And I take that as a gentle reminder to stay awake to the spiritual current and to honor it. It feels important to acknowledge and remember that the world that he lived in was hard. He wasn't writing from a place of comfort or detachment, no. He was a refugee from war. And as a child, he and his family, they fled the Mongol invasions. And later he lived under foreign occupation in a time of, collapsing empires and spiritual unrest and tremendous political fear. And he lost his closest companion under mysterious, most likely violent circumstances. So when Rumi writes about wonder and awe and love and surrender, I don't think he's bypassing suffering or pretending everything is peachy keen okay. No, to me, he's offering through his poetry a way to stay rooted in that something deeper that Maya Angelou connected with. Stay awake. Don't go back to sleep. Even in the middle of challenge and heartbreaking times and political upheaval, don't go back to sleep. His words and Maya's words, they carry weight for me because they come from people who knew what it meant to lose things and people and security. They knew how to grieve, knew what it meant to grieve, and they knew also what it meant to keep going. So how can a person stay awake to the deep current of life? How can we stay awake societally, individually, spiritually, relationally, daily, in a world such as ours? A practice that has helped me is to become focused, I might even say hyper-focused on the present moment. To fall into awe with now as a way of restoring my soul. Once upon a time, I was slicing figs from the tree in my backyard to put into the dehydrator to preserve them. And I had to get the job done because you know how it is with those figs. Once they ripen, they all ripen at the same time and goes quickly. But I had a lot of other jobs to do at the same time, lots of tasks. And I wasn't loving how much time it was taking. So if you could peek into my surface mind's thinking, here's what I was thinking and feeling. I'd rather be doing something else. This is messy. This one isn't ripe. Why don't they all progress at the same speed? Surely there must be a faster way. I should probably have done this sooner. I always put things off and then it causes trouble for me later. Maybe I'll just put this off again like I always do. Wouldn't it be easier to just buy some dry figs? But then the chemicals, that who knows what's in it. You know, I think last year's figs were better probably because I didn't water the tree. And then I caught it. I noticed my surface mind and what it was doing. I became aware of it and how powerfully engaged, how hotly engaged it was in its own opinion. You know, it was as if nobody was home, but somebody had left the TV on full blast. Like background noise, looping endlessly, dramatic, repetitive, but ultimately hollow. I realized nobody was present to witness the miracle that was taking place. You're starting with the beauty of the ceramic knife to the figs, to the light. So I took a breath and I paused and I asked myself, what am I aware of right now? It's that pause that is so valuable, so important. It's in that pause that awareness can go from the surface to deep. And I felt the entire experience shift for me. I could see my hands. As if for the first time. Are those mine? I could see them with interest and compassion. I could see the arthritis, the freckles, the veins, without adding labels of right or wrong. I simply felt them. I felt the aching. I felt and witnessed the aging. I noticed the pulse moved by my heart. I have a heart. Curiosity rose. I sensed the warmth rising from my own body. I noticed the light coming in through the window, touching everything in a variety of ways, and I heard the rustling of life everywhere. And it was beautiful. And I realized it had always been beautiful. But my mind was too preoccupied to notice it. Don't go back to sleep. Oh, being aware of all that beauty in that moment, well, it didn't change a thing out there. Still things to do, still figs to cut, still difficult decisions to make, still hardships to navigate, still society to deal with, still news to read. But I changed. See, a moment before, I was losing all of my energy as it leaked out into the chaos of my mind. But now, a moment after awareness, I was filling up with energy from the deep inside. I was being restored, inflated from within, re-energized, and I carried that with me into the rest of my day and the difficult things I had to do. Some people tell me that they access that same place of still powerful knowing when they're doing, things like mountain climbing, because it demands an intensely alive frame of mind which quiets the personality and brings a sense of presence. And in that moment, everything is alive and glowing with possibility. And Science of Mind taught me that experience is available anywhere, anytime. By learning how to notice the mind's surface activity, gently interrupt it with a pause and a breath, and then select a different direction so that you can drop more deeply into the present moment. Like this one. Let everything that is appear to you as it is, without assigning meaning, seeking explanation, adding comparison, correcting. No. Just become like the deep ocean current and carry your life-giving awareness into everything. The teacher Gangaji expressed it like this: give up all considerations, all computations, all measurements, and just be still. Insight and revelations arise quite naturally in this reflection. Wisdom and clarity are natural byproducts of not creating and not following mind activity. And I believe that that is exactly where your true and most authentic and most powerful self is to be found, in the deep current of your already always present self, in this moment and in every present moment. Mystical traditions have long spoke about the power of the moment. Christianity, take no thought for the morrow. Zen Buddhism, when walking, walk. When eating, eat. Jewish mysticism, every place where you let God in is the holy of holiest. And our own founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, now is the only time we have. This is the only day there is. Today I talked about this. Your surface mind is a valuable tool, but it's not the whole of you. There is a deeper current to you of presence that is always available. And mindfulness is one of the practices that could open us up to its current so we can live in this world from it. Now, to reinforce the message, the focus of the whole month of July is about staying awake to that current and that depth within. Next week, on July the 13th, the topic is embracing personal power, because once we learn how to access the deep current, the question is, how am I going to use it powerfully for good? The week after that, the topic is unlearning for liberation, where we will consider the assumptions and the beliefs or the internal scripts that we may have taken as normal, and note whether or not that is moving us forward or holding us back. And then July 27th, the topic is boundaries. And in this final message, we'll be exploring how to live from the depths without losing ourselves, our sense of identity, in others, in the world, so that we can continue to express with clarity and compassion. So today I invite you to pause with me, to breathe, and to become the witness, to feel the movement of life that is already flowing within you. To let this moment speak to you without rushing, without labeling. To let your deeper self rise from the stillness. There is a stillness within all things and all beings. A presence that is not separate from life, but is life itself. The creative power. It breathes. It creates. It flows. It breathes and creates and flows as me. And as each person here. This presence moves in every cell of the body, in every thought of the mind, in every unfolding moment of time. It moves without noise, without effort. Just like the deep currents of the ocean, steady, calm, life-sustaining. I realize that this moment in time is one of awareness, of noticing, of becoming aware of the deep presence within. It is a shift from effort to allowing, from evaluating to witnessing. Through this prayer and in this moment, my spiritual self is coming into clear focus, steady, loving, clear. And I'm realizing that it is never absent. It continues to be available always. And in this deepness, answers begin to form. A sense of purpose emerges. Not assigned, but received. This is who I am. The awareness beneath the activity. The presence beyond the patterns. The stillness beneath all storms. And in this stillness, I welcome the creative power of life. I invite it to continue its expression through me, through my words, through my choices, through my living. And in this moment of welcoming, I describe this moment to myself as holy, because I am here to see it fresh. I feel it. I live from it, from the depth. And it is right now equipping me to be in this world in a powerful, centered, creative, compassionate and connected way. It is causing me right now to stand strong in the awareness of the spiritual nature of my being and to stay awake. And I invite you to bring this moment of contemplation to a close by gently saying with me, "And so it is," followed by a deep breath in and a sigh. And with that sigh, we make the transition to the part of our service where we practice spiritual circulation, meaning we feel our appreciation for the center, for each other, for life. We acknowledge our contributions and also what we receive. And this is also the time where we financially support our center, so we may continue to provide services in the beautiful way that we do. I invite the ushers to stand as each one of us prepares our gifts, and maybe place your hand on your chest as a symbol of your heart connection to this, your spiritual center, and to say after me, "I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does amazing work in the world." And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
There's a part for you in this song. It's really easy. Sing after me. Show me the way. Show me the way. Your heart will light the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Your love will light the way. Namaste together. Nam, 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 namaste. Nam, 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 namaste. Namo, 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 namaste. Nam, 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 namaste. Nam, 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 namaste. Namo, 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 namaste. Show me the way. Show me the way. Your love will light the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Your love will light the way. Namaste. Nam, 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 namaste. Nam, 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 namaste. Namo, 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 namaste. Namaste. Nam, 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 namaste. Nam, 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 namaste. Namo, namo, show me the way. Your heart will light the way.
Thank you again for all the gifts that you share with our community. The first class that I ever took when I began my spiritual journey was the Essential Ernest Holmes. And when I took it, I was struck by how relatable for me Ernest Holmes' way of teaching was. And he was able to make sense of the world in a way that I always felt inside of me, but I didn't really know how to explain it or put it into words. And in the class, we read some of his most influential writings, and then we put them to practice. And we did that through meditation and through spiritual mind treatment, and we had a lot of stimulating discussion. And I remember those discussions because in them, that was the moment when I realized that I had come home. So the Essential Ernest Holmes, for me, it gave me the foundation that would inspire me to change my life, to be here today. And so I know it can change your life too. Class begins on Thursday, July 17th with practitioner Christine Ruddy. Now, I want you to imagine in your mind lighting a candle that's inscribed with an intention, and then resting your senses in its flickering warmth and light, and in the gentle fragrance of incense, and all of this tailored to help you focus your awareness upon the spirit within. Well, a ritual, like I just described, is something that you can do that helps you to recognize the sacredness in life, that self within. And it can be as complex as a wedding, or as simple as lighting a candle before you eat your meal. So in my new class, The Power of Ritual, I'm really excited to show you how you can deepen or create your own meaningful and unique rituals using our Science of Mind principles, ideas from Wicca and other pagan religions. And in this, I know you're going to take home some knowledge. You're going to take home knowledge of what is a ritual and how can you create your own rituals that help you to connect to the sacred in your life. Because I know that every moment in life, as Dr. Edward mentioned, can be made sacred. And we can do that through the power of ritual. So I invite you to join me on Monday, July 21st, to start your journey toward the sacred at the center of you. Now, you can get our education catalog at the info table on your way out, and you can find this on our website, and it has all of our upcoming classes. Feel free to come and talk to me after service, too, if you're interested in a scholarship for Essential Ernest Holmes, or if you have any questions. And you can also email me at, very easy, Russ, R-U-S-S, at CSLSR.org. Okay, now there's something really special about getting to see our children head on off to the youth program each Sunday. And for me, it's a joyful reminder that spiritual growth starts when we're early. And it starts with play and with storytelling and learning Science of Mind principles in ways that inspire our children. So if you feel called to support our next generation on their spiritual path, we would love to have you as a volunteer. And just one Sunday a month can make a lasting difference. So you can come find Jennifer Caldwell after service or reach out to her via email, youth@cslsr.org. Now, I have a question for you. Do you like to dance? Or maybe you've always wanted to learn how to dance, but you didn't quite know where to start. Maybe you felt like you have two left feet. Well, this is your opportunity to turn that all around by coming to join our New Horizons Swing Band fundraiser at the center here on Friday, July 18. And there's a dance lesson that begins at 6 p.m., and then the live band is going to be playing from 7 until 9. Tickets are $15 in advance and then $20 at the door, and all of the proceeds benefit both the band and our center. We're partnering with them. So bring your your friend, bring your dancing shoes, bring your desire to learn how to swing dance. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, one of the most powerful ways that our center lives its values is by partnering with our local nonprofits that are creating real lasting change. And each year, with your help, we select 12 new nonprofit partners that we can support financially. And now is your chance to nominate organizations for the next year, 2026. We're looking for local groups that uplift lives, that strengthen community, and that align with the heart of our spiritual values. Now, for example, last year, your nominations led us to collaborate with groups that were focused on things like services for the Latinx community and services for those who are experiencing domestic abuse. And this spirit of service continues with our upcoming emergency preparedness workshop that's coming up in August, and that's hosted by one of our recent partners. So this is a really beautiful example of how we as a community can create something more together. So if you'd like to nominate an organization, visit our website and click on the Make a Difference image. And nominations are open through August 3rd, 2025. Now, finally, our center is once again partnering, speaking of partnerships, with our local spiritual communities so that we can collect backpacks filled with school supplies for our local children. So if you'd like to donate a backpack, head on over to our website, or you can pick up a flyer at our info desk that has the details of the items that they're looking for in that backpack. And then you can bring it back to us any Sunday in July. And just bring it right over to the info desk, and we will make sure that it goes to a good home. So thank you so much for being with us today. Know that the spiritual inspiration that you had today, it doesn't have to end. Join us on Wednesday for your midweek spiritual vitamin at our 7 p.m. Wednesday evening service. All right, have a great week.
If you would like prayer support after service for whatever is going on in your life, or if you want to celebrate something, please go to the host at the back or online. Go to our website and you can receive the same thing through Zoom. And the prayer practitioner will spend some time with you in prayer. And now it is time for us to close our service. Won't you please stand as you are able, saying something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Let's close in song.
For peace, wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside, in every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace, I choose fear to release. Every moment love wakes up, and peace is every step. Peace is every step. Peace is every step.